You'll like this one. It's about you. Now, I wouldn't call you the hero, but everything in it revolves around you and what you did. You don't remember anything, do you? Of course not. You're a coward. I'd say you disgust me, but, well, it's a little more complicated than that. Come on, through the door. You're so close now. Don't you want to know how all this ends? The old lab. So cramped working cheek by jowl with those fools on their useless, stupid little trivialities. Nothing more than distractions. They dismissed my ideas as wrong, then begged my help for their own work. If only they could have seen what I was working on behind their backs. I knew I had to get out before they found out what my little side project was. They wouldn't have understood. They couldn't. I was so very far beyond them. Isolation. Space to breathe, to think, to work. No more dingy little space hidden away from prying eyes. Out here, I am free. It also neatly solves the problem of disposal. When I'm finished with any biological material, human or animal, I simply seal it in a bath of acid and drop it to the bottom of the lake. What I wouldn't give for an incinerator. Still, there are always trade-offs, and I must make do with what I have. A small price to pay. Sacrifice. I'd often ask myself if what I was doing was right, was just. Progress demanded sacrifice. Imagine the potential. Cures for cancers, for wasting diseases and childhood afflictions. If I could rid the world of these things, nobody would care about how I did it. I'd be a hero, forever immortalized as one of the true scientific greats. worked. The experiment. It worked! A breakthrough I could never have dreamed of back under the watchful eye of those fools. I had my doubts back in my old lab, but out here, I felt anything was possible. And I could do absolutely anything. I didn't have the evidence yet to support my findings. I needed to replicate the experiments. Go further, be bolder. I had no choice, did I? I took another. A man camping with his wife. I needed him. If I hadn't taken him, they might have stumbled on my lab. It's too valuable. I can't stop now. That's what I told myself as I beat the wife to death with a rock as she tried to stop me from taking her husband. Sacrifices had to be made, but I lay awake at night. I couldn't get her face out of my head. The old man had to die. While he'd been staying in his cabin, he went to the police. I decided to see what effects the grafts would have in terms of aggression and capacity for violence in the subject. Nothing could have prepared me for this. It tore him apart. I just want to be left alone. Why do they keep coming? I couldn't let her find out what happened. She didn't deserve this, though. I can't stop it. Can't control it. What have I done? How could I be so wrong? Last night I had a nightmare. I was in the woods. Everything familiar, walking through the trees. He was there, the old man from the cabin. He spoke to me like a friend. Every night now, the same dream, the same path, the same voice. I can't sleep. When I do, I awaken among the trees. She is in them too. Now, the woman, the digger, she's not my friend. She screams at me, but I can't wake up for hours. She knows everything I know. She knows what I did.
When we last spoke, I told you to learn your story, to find answers, to find those stories I couldn't finish.
You wronged us, both of us, in the worst ways imaginable.
But what's done is done. You can't change that. Nobody can. There's no sense in going back and reliving it over and over. The outcome is always the same.
I made a life digging up the past, but now it's time to put it to rest.
You understand now. We couldn't just tell you. We had to let you see.
And now you know what we know. You feel what we feel.
We couldn't rest until we moved on from this. And neither can you.
Over and over again you've lived this, seen this, again and again. You're cursed, can't you see it? The weight of the guilt drags you down and sets you back on that path endlessly. There's only one way this ends, but for us, it already has.
What you did was awful, but you know that now. You feel the truth burning inside you. An animal you must set free.
Acknowledge what you did. End the cycle. Move on. And know peace.
We forgive you.
Again, the same dance, the same steps. Why? You know all this. You've known it all along. And yet every time you choose to forget, to wake once more among the trees, to relive your nightmare, our nightmare. You push the truth away, refuse it, so much so it's become me. But I don't exist. Only you do. You and all you've done. Enough of this. You can't keep walking that path like a stranger. You can't keep choosing to forget as you have. It's starting to break down. The dream, your memories, keep pushing through, taking her voice, my voice, your voice. It's time. You can't do this again. Walk that path again. It has to end. And here's where it finally stops. You can't keep turning your back on what you did. You can't keep lying to yourself. Just stop. Stop. Only you can make the choice. So what will it be? Nobody should live in hate and sadness forever. By choosing the love of those you wronged, you allow them to let go and move on in peace. And so too shall you.